Star Wars opening crawl sequence is iconic with the films. It has been featured in every single saga film since its inception, and it was even featured in the Star Wars: The Clone Wars animated film back in 2008. It has become synonymous with the series, and there's a possibility that it might not be featured in the first spin-off for Star Wars, that is being Rogue One, which is set for release in December of this year. Now, Kathleen Kennedy, who is the president of Lucasfilm, said in an interview, "We talk about that all the time. It's something that we're right in the midst of discussing even now. So I don't want to say definitely what we're doing. The crawl and some of those evidence live specifically with the quote-unquote saga films that we are having a lot of discussion about what will define the standalone Star Wars stories separate and apart from the saga films." So we're right in the middle of talking about that. So essentially what you can pull from that quote is they're looking for something that will set Star Wars Rogue One apart from the main universe, because as it's been said multiple times, this is a spin-off film and it's not part of the main story. This kind of gives you backstory about things that you saw in the saga. So they're looking to give it its own individual identity, in a sense, in a nutshell. That's what they're trying to do. Now, I don't know if you want to do that by getting ready to open the crawl sequence, because there are plenty of the ways you can give it its own individuality. If the movie is great, it will have its own individuality, because every film, I think, depending on how great it was, really sets it apart from the other films. Because for me, episode 7 was amazing. It really set it apart. Episode 3 for the prequels was the one that really set it apart. For me, episode 5 was the one that really set it apart for the original trilogy. So if a film is going to have its original identity, it has to be a great film. Now, Star Wars Rogue One isn't that great, which some people are worried about because of the reshoots. It might not have that identity, but I don't think the greatest idea would be to do away with the opening crawl, because that lets you know you're watching a Star Wars film. That feeling when that first trumpet hits and all the horns are blowing, and you know you're finna watch a Star Wars movie. So tell me in the comment section down below, guys, what do you think about Rogue One possibly doing away with the Star Wars opening crawl sequence? Do you agree with it or not? And what do you think Rogue One to do to establish its own personal identity? I would love to know this down in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like and share this with your friends if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to Marauders for the latest and greatest Star Wars Rogue One content on the YouTube. Until next time, this is me, Loc75. I'll definitely see you guys in a later video.